everybody, my name's Infinite Gamer, and with the much anticipated release of the Super Mario RPG remake, I decided to challenge myself by nuzlocking the game. For those of you who don't know what a nuzlocke is, it's normally a Pokemon challenge where if a Pokemon faints, it's dead forever. But I wanted to take that rule into Mario RPG and see if I can beat this classic, so let's go into the adventure. Our adventure starts with a federal crime, as Peach is just enjoying a nice day out in the sun while visiting Mario, when all of a sudden she is kidnapped by Bowser. I don't know how the Mushroom Kingdom hasn't gotten better security by now, but I digress. After Mario finds out Peach has been taken, he springs into action and rushes over to Bowser's Keep. I dispatch of the local population and start my first boss battle of the run. This is gonna be a tough and gruesome battle. Just kidding, after hitting the chain twice, Bowser starts falling to his death. He tries to take me with him, but he forgot about my beefy Italian legs that I can use to get back up to Peach. As I'm freeing Peach, a giant sword falls through the sky and lands into the castle. The shockwave sends me flying all the way back home to where Toad is waiting to pick up Peach. I tell him that Bowser has kidnapped her and he insists I go back to the castle and rescue her. I take a moment to contemplate why he is doing this, but there's no time. I rush back to the castle where a giant sword starts talking to me. I think I may have eaten way too many shrooms. My bad trip gets worse when the sword starts moving his mouth in a weird way and collapses the whole bridge. With no way into the keep, I head back to my house to let Toad know what's going on. He tells me we should go to the Mushroom Kingdom and inform the Chancellor on what's going on. While making my way through the Mushroom Way, I stopped by the Hammer Bros. They get all sensitive about their hammers and start to attack me. With the combination of special and normal attacks, I take down the duo easily. So while this battle plays out, I'm gonna give y'all the rules for the run. Rule 1, if a party member faints, they are dead and cannot be used. Rule number 2, no healing or battle items during a fight. The only items allowed are syrups for restoring FP. Rule 3, no flower items, meaning no flower tabs, boxes, or jars. Rule 4, no special gates except for the Boyer fight where it's mandatory. Rule number 5, the moves Psych and Migraine are banned from this run. They're a one-hit unblockable kill move in Moleville and Star Hill. Alright, now that I got that out of the way, the Hammer Bros are dead and I was able to loot a hammer off their bodies, giving me my first weapon of the run. Now that they're out of my way, I can finally make it to the Mushroom Kingdom where all the Toads are playing charades. Mario unluckily pulls the reenact the kidnapping of Princess Peach in a great detail card, but thankfully Mario is secretly an alien who can shapeshift his form and wins the round of charades easily. On his way out of the castle, he sees a weird little puffball chasing a purple dragon. Man, I really need to lay off these shrooms. Anyway, the cloud can't jump a simple cliff and gets absolutely screwed by the wall. He starts to cry like a little baby, and at the same time, it starts to rain. Well, that's a coincidence. I go down to tell him to stop being a blubbery baby when he tells me that he is a frog on a mission to get his grandfather something from the Mushroom Kingdom. He asks me if I can help him get his stolen coin back from that croc. Not having anything more important to do like saving a literal princess, I agree and start to leave when Toad stops us to tell us that he saw the croc zoom by. He also lets us know he bought a new bazooka from Explosives R Us, and while I was perplexed by that fact, the croc zooms past us, so the chase is on. While going through Bandit Way, I do have a close call with Malo, but we make it out onto the other side just fine. We catch up to the croc and start to mug the mugger, and a fight commences. So I'm only going to cover the most important fights in this game to save everyone's time, but these bigger boss fights I'll go through more thoroughly. I start the fight with a jump. In hindsight, this was a bad call since Croco is actually weak to fire, but we're good. The fight consists of a mix of normal and special attacks to weaken Croco, while Croco himself is doing very little damage to us. After some time, we win the battle and we get the coin back. After Croco runs off, we need to take the coin back to the Mushroom Kingdom to get Malo what he needed to buy. But when we arrive, the place is overrun with these weird enemies. With Malo's help, we save the Mushroom Kingdom's inhabitants. After that, we go to help the Chancellor. Once in the throne room, a giant sword like pogo stick guy stands in our way. His name is Clay Mortar, and he is commanding all these monsters to attack the kingdom. So Malo and I start our real first boss of the run. For this fight, my plan is to have Mario normally attack Clay Mortar while Malo uses Thunderbolt to hit everyone on the field, which is very helpful since Clay Mortar loves to call for help during this fight. Malo's Thunderbolt also kills all the little minions in one hit, making it even more helpful, and to put the cherry on top, Clay Mortar is actually weak to lightning, making this fight overall easy. All it takes is a couple of normal attacks and 3 Thunderbolts to take this nasty sword down. With Clay Mortar defeated, I save the Chancellor and grab our first star of the run. With the Mushroom Kingdom saved, Malo suggests that we head to Tadpole Pond since that's where his grandpa lives, and apparently he might know what the deal is with this star and where Peach might be. So Malo and I pack up and get ready for our departure. Before leaving, I stopped by the shop to buy the cricket pie for Molo's grandpa with the coin we recovered from Croco. Kiro Sewers and Bologna was a breeze, so I'm just gonna skip past them. I'm able to get some flower points while going down the Midas River. These mini-games are going to help wonders with increasing my max FP since I'm not allowed to use any FP items. Once done with the fun ride down the waterfall, we arrive at Tadpole Pond. Now at the pond, I can talk to the Frog Sage. He tells me that Peach is safe, but not at Bowser's castle anymore, meaning she is somewhere around the world. He also informs me that the star I grabbed at Mushroom Kingdom is very important, and to collect any more I find. He also instructs Molo to go with me and assist on the adventure. Molo's conflicted since he's just a mere tadpole and not a grown frog, but that's when his grandfather reveals he's not a tadpole. Sorry, did I miss something? After informing Molo about the truth and saying his goodbyes, the Frog Sage is feeling a little sad. So it's time to extort him for some of his belongings! I hand over the cricket pie and in return he rewards me with the Froggy Stick. A weapon for Molo, meaning Molo will stop dealing like 2 damage against every enemy. We move on to Rose Town where there are arrows flying all over the place. It seems when these arrows hit someone, they freeze in place. So Molo and I quickly seek refuge in the local inn. This is where we meet Gaz, a child playing with his toys in the main room. He quickly realizes that there's a new guest from one of his dolls, and runs over begging Mario to accompany him in his current play session. Since Mario literally has absolutely nothing else, not a single current objective that might be more important that he should probably be tending to, he joins Gaz and plays with his toy collection, up to the point of being knocked unconscious. Jeez, what parent gives their child a toy that can literally knock a grown man unconscious? Mario wakes up the next morning hearing Gaz tell his mother about seeing one of his dolls moving around in the woods. So Molo and I head into the forest maze to check out what's going on. We find our way through the forest getting turned into a mushroom way too many times, and find ourselves at the maze. We see what looks like one of Gaz's dolls walking through the maze, so we follow him. We aren't able to catch up to him, but we do come across the bow-looking monster shooting those arrows. I try to punch his lights out like Bruce Lee when Molo notices someone coming and pulls me aside. One of the arrow guys found another one of those star thingies. Right before he can hand it over to Boyer, however, a blue figure jumps down and stops the transaction. This angers Boyer, causing them to start fighting. Boyer starts shooting arrows all over the place while the figure tries to stop him. The arrows start raining down on Mario and Molo, so they decide to go help the guy in blue. Left with no choice, the figure has to hurl his fist at Boyer to stop this arrow rampage. Boyer, enraged by this, tries to shoot an arrow at the figure when suddenly Mario jumps in to save the day as the real fight begins. Boyer has no weaknesses, so I start the battle by trying to do heavy magic damage to him, opening with the Geno Blast and following it up with a super jump from Mario, ending the turn with a honey syrup coming from Molo. Boyer takes his turn by laying down button traps, meaning if he hits that button, I'm locked out of that command, which could end up being bad because if I need healing and Molo's specials are locked, I can't heal myself. Knowing this, I'm focused on dealing as much damage as possible, meaning another round of specials on Boyer for my turn 2. Boyer locks the normal attack button, which is unideal, since I just got done using up most of my FP. For turn 3, I decide to use the rest of my FP and then have Molo restore it with another honey syrup. Boyer decides to keep the attack command locked, which is good since I just restored my FP for my turn 4. He decides to attack with a pretty hefty static shock, however, which leaves me in a pretty rough spot. I decided to have Geno use Geno Blast, following it up with a normal jump from Mario to conserve my FP, ending my turn with an HP rain from Molo, giving Geno some extra HP. Boyer finally takes out the special button, which is just fine since I finally ran out of FP. Boyer ends his turn by shooting a sleep arrow at Geno, making Geno fall asleep. With only normal attacks available to me, I just use them for my turn 5. Boyer then responds by putting Molo to sleep, leaving me with only Mario. But thankfully, all I need is one more normal attack from Mario to finish off this fight. I do have to use the party move to truly finish the boss since this game makes it mandatory, but it's the last move before he dies, basically meaning I beat the boss without it. Geno thanks us for his help and explains to us that he's a Star Guardian from a place called the Star Road. Apparently, the giant sword that flew through the sky has broken the Star Road, meaning it's up to us to find these broken pieces so we can restore the Star Road and save the world's wishes. Geno joins the party as we grab Star Piece number 2. I head back to Rosetown to tell Gaz about what is happening. He doesn't really understand the whole thing, but seeing Geno in the flesh, wood? Cloth? Okay, I don't know what Geno's really made out of, but the important thing is Gaz gives Geno his finger gun, truly allowing us to march forward to our next destination. We shortly arrive at Moleville, where a star apparently fell through the top of the mountain, trapping some children inside the mine. I load up on some new gear, then we make our way into the mine to help with the situation. If I'm being completely honest, with Geno in the party, the mines are just a breeze. Well, with one slip up, but we recovered from it just fine. After completely blasting through this mine, both metaphorically and literally, we are up against Punchinello, a bomb maker who wants to be famous. He's currently guarding the third star piece, meaning we're gonna have to fight this circus monkey for it. Since I'm in Moleville, I have access to maple syrup, which gives me 40 FP per use, basically meaning I have a max elixir for the rest of the game, since I am very unlikely to get above 40 FP in this challenge. The reason I even mention this is because Punchinello likes summoning bombs to help in this fight, but I can just have Malo thunderbolt these bombs away with no problem, making this fight a breeze. Punchinello threatens his final attack, but it must be stuck or something because I don't see it anywhere. He starts throwing a fit when out of nowhere a giant bomb falls on his head, crushing him. The king and I decide to bail before this bomb explodes and kills us all. Just as we're about to leave, a piece of coal falls on the bomb, causing it to set off. We start to panic as the bomb explodes. Thankfully, Punchinello has the IQ level of dirt and forgot to fill the bomb all the way up with gunpowder, meaning we live and get the star piece in the process. After picking up the star piece, we head into the next room where we find Dinah and Mike, the two children trapped in the mine. We hop in the mine cart and make like a Donkey Kong riding the rail. This minigame is fun and all, but these stupid turns are BS and I hate them. We are able to take the track all the way through the mine, but we didn't see that the track ran out, so we are sent flying through the sky. We land in the children's house where their parents are pleased and frustrated with their actions. The parents thank us as we head off to find more star pieces. On my way out, a trio of Sniffits start chasing a beetle. The beetle lands on my head with the trio quickly following it, and now I'm surrounded. They tell me that they are trying to catch beetles for someone named Booster since he doesn't have time to hunt them anymore ever since a girl fell right out of the sky. The beetle then leaves with the trio quickly following it. It sounds like this Booster fellow has Peach, so that's going to be our next stop. I have a pretty smooth time making my way through Booster's Pass and arrive at Booster Tower. On our arrival, I see Bowser sitting right outside the tower, which is totally my first time ever seeing him through this playthrough. I have never ever seen him at any other point in time. I totally didn't forget to mention him at all. Shut up! Anyhow, while Bowser and I bicker for some time, we start to hear Peach's cries at the top of the tower, confirming my suspicions. After finding out Peach is still kidnapped just by someone different, Bowser decides to go back to his castle. I still need to save Peach, so I try to open the door, and just like my integrity, my noodle arms aren't strong enough to bust down the door. Then, out of nowhere, Bowser rushes into the door, breaking it down. Bowser takes the moment to admire his work and then turns to us. He decides to recruit us as his minions. Now with Bowser part of the team, I can switch Geno out for him, since I don't want anything happening to Geno this early in the game, because he has a devastating AoE attack he will unlock later on, that I will want to take full advantage of. I start making my way through Booster Tower when I find this particular puzzle. After figuring it out through some brute force because I was too lazy to look up a YouTube tutorial, go back down the stairs where the puzzle solution was, I can enter this room where there's a chain chomp. Bowser recognizes this chain chomp and starts to unhook it. Oh my god, what are you doing? Blur it! Blur it! The kids can't see this! After being completely scarred for the rest of my life, Bowser can equip the new weapon. I wash my eyes out with some bleach and continue to the top of the tower. On my way up, I meet Booster. He apparently doesn't like it when people come to rescue other people that he's kidnapped, so he starts throwing bombs around. I run to take cover under the space in order to dodge the bomb. Booster bails, leaving me to continue this long climb. Thankfully, I finally make it to the top of the tower where I can find Peach on the other side of this door. Before I can ask Bowser to use his back again, I hear Booster coming to the room. I quickly duck behind some really weird placed curtains. Booster enters the room and starts talking about how he's going to marry Peach. He thinks it would be a good idea to practice before actually going through with the ceremony, and he grabs his dolls in order to start practicing. He realizes that Mario is most likely to intervene, so he goes to grab his Mario doll when he realizes that he's lost his doll. He sends the trio of Sniffits to look for the doll in the most ineffective way possible. I'm able to keep myself hidden up to the point that Booster joins in the shirt. My position is revealed, but thankfully Booster has such a dense brain and instead spots the doll. I need to help him get it down, but he realizes too much time has passed and he needs to start heading to the wedding hall. He opens the door and leaves. I follow him, but by the time I make it outside, he's gone, and so is Peach. That's when two clowns jump down to fight me. This fight has two different attackers. Knife Guy focuses on physical damage, while Great Guy uses magical damage. They outspeed, meaning on turn 1 they get to go first. I follow up by using 3 normal attacks on Knife Guy. If I'm being honest, this was the wrong play. I should focus on Great Guy since he has a lot of attacks that could just hit my entire party, making him the biggest threat. Great Guy hits Bowser for 1 damage, muting him in the process, while Knife Guy hits Malo for a hefty 20 damage, taking 1/3 of his health bar. In response, I shift focus onto Great Guy, having Bowser hit him with a normal attack. Then I have him misclick and accidentally heal Mario instead of Malo, basically wasting his turn. Mario goes for a normal attack on Knife Guy, leading into their turn. They waste their turn by just jumping on one another, allowing me to deal some damage onto both of them, and actually healing Malo. Great Guy goes for a Meteor Blast, which deals some damage to everyone. Not really worried though. After another round of normal attacks, I can break them up, and the duo hit back with a weak turn. After one more round of normal attacks focused on Great Guy, I finally knock him out, just leaving Knife Guy. One last turn goes by with him going down to another round of normal attacks. We jump up Booster's tower and somehow survive the fall. Anyhow, we catch up to Booster and it's time to start the Marrymore race. This is very important to do well in, since every time I catch Peach, she gives me a max flower upgrade, which could really help me later on. I managed to score 6 flowers, which is pretty good. I could have done better, but I could have done a lot worse. We arrive at Marrymore where Booster has stolen the wedding chapel. I break in through the back door where I step on a cake and confront Booster. Apparently, Booster just wanted a party, so I can take Peach back home now that the party is over. But before I can leave, the bakers are back with that cake I stepped on. They are pretty peeved that I crashed a non-existing wedding and start to attack me. We battle for a while when the cake starts moving. I don't know what magical powers they used on that thing, but that cake just gained sentience. He apparently is a mean cake and the real battle begins. I need to blow out candles on the top of the cake, which can be done by using normal attacks on the top half of the cake. I'm able to take out the top half of the cake, but the team is looking pretty shaky. I know I can take a couple of attacks, however, so I brute force my way to the end of the battle, and I can now say I beat up a cake. A truly crowning achievement. Now I can take Peach back home to the Mushroom Kingdom, where I can explain what is happening and continue on our adventure. Peach wants to join the party, however, but the Chancellor tells her that he doesn't want her putting herself in danger. She goes to lay down as we make our way to Tadpole Pond to ask the frog stage where the next star is. On our way out, Peach jumps out a window, landing right in front of us. She tells us she set up a decoy so she can go on the adventure with us, meaning Peach is back on the team. We head to Tadpole Pond where the frog stage gives us a very important message.
If you're feeling sad like the last time you visited, I have just the thing for you. It's a subscription to the Infinite Gamer YouTube channel. As a wise sage, I love the What Is series. He even did one on Mario RPG. Also, did you know that 93.9% of viewers aren't even subscribed? So, go below this video and hit that subscribe button for old grandpappy, please.
Jeez, Malo, your grandpa's a sellout. Oh, also the stars that star rolled? Okay, cool, I got it. Peach informs us of an upcoming town named Seaside Town, where we could ask the locals if they saw a star. We make our way into the small town, where the inhabitants look a little off. They kind of look like they're made of metal, but this world has floating carrots in it, so it's probably normal. I asked the village elder about the star. He tells me it fell into the ocean where a shark captain patrols the water. He asked me to retrieve the star for him, and since I need it, I head into the sea. I end up making it into the sunken ship. This ship is full of ghosts. These ghosts are weak to sleep spells, which is good since I just got Peach on the team, and soon after joining the party, she learned sleep. Peach is honestly our best party member for this challenge since she can heal the entire party with status removing properties. So with all of that, the ship will be a breeze. Why? Oh my god. So a new thing added to Mario RPG are strong enemies. Some have more health, others have high defense, but this guy has boosted attack. Enough attack power to one-shot Peach. killing our most important party member of the entire game. Thankfully for me, Malo is still alive, and I'm a Giga Chad gamer. This isn't gonna stop me. I also found out that Bowser's poison gas move that he learned recently basically is the same thing as Peach's sleep spell ability, meaning Peach didn't even have to die. So I'm just a little salty. Anyway, it's time to fight King Calamari. If I'm being honest, in between Bowser's poison and Malo's thunderbolt, I just plow through King Calamari and literally snowball Johnny, meaning we can get the star and head back to Seaside Town. Upon our arrival, the townspeople are waiting for us. They reveal that they're working with Smithy, and if I don't hand over the star, they're gonna do something bad to the real townspeople. I reluctantly hand over the star, and the group bolts off. I give chase and manage to catch up to them. They try to escape through the water when Johnny jumps in and stops them from escaping. Trapped, the group of people merge into Spiritovich. This is one of the hardest fights in the game. Spiritovich loves using AoE attacks, which is why Peach is so useful here, but she's dead, meaning I'm gonna have to manage. Spiritovich outspeeds and hits all of us with a water blast. It misses Bowser, but it hits Malo and Mario, halving their health bars. I respond with some normal hits from Mario and Bowser, while Malo exposes his lightning weakness with a huge shocker hit. Spiritovich uses Will-O-Wisp on Malo, leaving him with a nerve-wracking 18 HP. I decided to make a stupid decision here to heal Mario, which is stupid because Malo is the only healer I have left and should have gotten the heals here. This wasn't even a misclick either, I fully meant to do this. Thankfully, I go unpunished as Bowser tanks another Will-O-Wisp and I get another turn. This time I do heal Malo, leaving the team in a great state for Spiritovich's next turn. Spiritovich uses Mirage Attack. This creates a fake version of himself that can divert damage and deal extra damage towards me. Thankfully, I can tell the difference, so I focus on the real Spiritovich. If you're wondering how I can tell the difference, it's pretty simple. Hit both of them with an AoE attack. Whoever takes the most damage is the fake. I take a couple more turns, but things start to get dicey when Bowser takes a hefty 50 damage, leaving him with 33 HP. I try to heal him, but I misclicked and healed Mario again. Thankfully, I take down the Mirage, and Spiritovich goes for a Will-O-Wisp on Bowser, which I block. Malo finally heals Bowser, just in time for Spiritovich to hit us with another Water Blast, leaving the entire team in a very shaky position. Thankfully for me, however, I can heal Malo, and Spiritovich misses an attack on Bowser, leaving me open to land the final blow, allowing me to grab this close victory. With him defeated, I grab the star and set everyone free, saving the day. The true elder of Seaside Town tells me that he heard of a star in a place called Monstro Town, giving me the next POI location. After departing from Seaside Town, I fight through Land's End, where I make it to the desert. I manage to make my way down the scrolls in the ground until I show up in a temple. This is Ballone's temple, where a harder Ballone fight is. Oh, I killed him. Never mind. I get into Monstro Town, where I find the 6th star piece. Wait, that's just a dancing star. Gosh damn! I talked to the old lady downstairs where I explained the correct kind of star that I'm looking for. She realizes that a star had fallen into a volcano and the only way to get there is by going over the cliff at Land's End. She calls a bunch of paratroopers to help me. After skillfully scaling the mountain in record time, I can move on to the fight with Smilax. The fight against Smilax isn't really that hard. He can get me low at some points, but it's never enough to actually get me into a danger rage. As long as I have Malo alternating between healing and using Snowy, which is an AoE attack that hits Smilax for effective damage, I'm going to be just fine. After trimming the weed, I can pick up a seed. Then I make like a jack and climb a beanstalk. On my way up the beanstalk, I start grinding on some enemies for XP when...
What just happened to Malo?
Yeah, these strong enemies are really getting on my nerves. And now with Malo dead, I have no way to heal in battles. Meaning now every fight I get into is just a big timer. I bring Geno onto the team and march on with a pretty sour attitude. We finish our climb to the Cloud Kingdom known as Nimbus Land. It looks like a takeover has been occurring here, so I stop into the local statue shop where I see a statue of Malo. I choke up at the loss of our dear friend. He was with us at the very beginning, and now here we are, in his home. I swear to Malo's memory that I will avenge his people. The shopkeeper informs me that this statue is one of a king here in Nimbus Land. I put 2 and 2 together and realize that Malo must have been the prince. I tell the shopkeeper of the true loss of the prince. Angered by the news, he tells me that he can help me get into the castle. We execute our plan with perfect precision. Well, until I mess up the Dodo minigame and I have to fight him. You know that low. Oh my. Motherfuck! Dang it, we're dropping like flies at this point. I finished the fight with Dodo without any more casualties, but dang man, this sucks. I manage to make my way through the castle until I make it to the room with the giant egg. A voice from inside that egg says she wants to play, so I start attacking the egg. After a couple of turns, I manage to free the creature, who ends up being... Oh my god! Smash. I may have been stunned by Beauty, but I managed to break through and still win the fight. After finding my way through the rest of the castle, I make it to Valentina's room. I tell her that I'm gonna avenge the real Prince Malo, and I even hear his ghost backing me up. This scares Valentina off and a chase begins. She can't outrun me, Mario. I caught her with some of the help from the citizens, meaning a battle commences. So in this fight, someone will get taken from the middle of the party. I only have 2 party members left, and Mario can't be put in the middle, meaning it's all up to Bowser. I have full faith that Bowser can pull ahead for us here and bring glory to his troops. But sometimes determination isn't enough. Sometimes you're just destined to fail. It's a hard pill to swallow, but I learned a lot of things from this run, and I think it's better to leave this video here. Sometimes this is just the way things go, but it's how we get back up that matters. So I will come back to this challenge and truly beat it, but for now, I think I need a break from Mario RPG. So until then, thank you all so much for watching. You can't see it, but I'm waving you all goodbye.